My brothers and sisters, you are now watching the Gamer 2323, so just forget about the chores you're supposed to do. Put your feet up, get your Kool-Aid, fried chicken, popcorn, get whatever you may need. And I hope you enjoy the video.
Sucker, we got a lot to talk about. Kool-Aid, fried chicken, and popcorn may or may not be required. I almost feel like I have to warn y'all. I almost feel like I have to warn you. I never go into my vids with the script. I set up the camera, I point it at me, a sucker starts talking. I'm gonna let y'all know off the bat right now. I don't know where this video is going to head a couple of minutes from now. I can just guarantee you 3 things. There's going to be a lot of laughing in this video. There's going to be a lot of laughing in this video. Or as y'all call it, the pig / elephant laugh, or whatever y'all call it. There's going to be a lot of laughing. A lot of random outbursts, maybe. And if it gets too trill out the sucker, I might drop, a curse word here or there. But Sony's E3 2016. And before I say anything else, I want to bring up one word. Perspective. That is the word of the day right now, okay? I bring up perspective because after I mention all this stuff that they showed off, I'm going to bring back up perspective for a particular reason, okay? So remember, perspective, okay? Sony's E3 2016. There was a lot of hype going into their conference because, there's a lot of rumors going on, a lot of games that people were really expecting to see at their conference. I tried to not really get too hyped for it because it's just not a good idea this gen. You set your expectations this high, sucker, you are going to get crushed. So I tried not to set my expectations too high. I just show this, maybe some of this, and I'm good, okay? But you couldn't deny it. You couldn't deny the hype. The hype was there. People wanted to see Sony. People was waiting for Sony. And in typical Sony fashion, the arrogant, cocky, Sony is in a power position right now, because it almost seems like these suckers can do no wrong when it comes to the PS4. Somehow, someway, this junk continues to sell like hotcakes, and no one really knows why. It just sells more and more and more, and it's just like, god dang, is the PS4 really that much better than the Xbox One? Nah, it's really not. They're kind of almost similar in a lot of ways, but somehow, some way, PS4 is just freaking destroying Xbox One. So, how Microsoft got on stage and they just said, hey guys, welcome to E3. Let's begin the show. Nah, not Sony. Sony had a freaking orchestra. They freaking had a guy going like this. And I'm like, what the freak did these who does Sony think they are? They're freaking starting to jerk off with the freaking orchestra. A guy's going like this. And I'm like, where is this headed? Lord have mercy when I tell you on my sweet, precious soul. I thought that it might be showed at this year's E3. But sucker, to start your conference off with it, my nigga? God dang. God of War. God of War. Sucker, let me tell you this. One, that junk was not running on no PS4. There is no way that game was running on a PS4. It was either being run on a PC or that junk was on the PlayStation Neo backstage. I don't know what it was. All I can guarantee you, there's no way that junk was running on that peasant Station 4, aka that indie Station 4, aka that remaster Station 4. Not with those graphics. Did you see those graphics? Uncharted 4 can't come close. No freaking The Order can't, bruh. Those graphics during that freaking gameplay, I was like, son, this is ridiculous. Bruh, that game looks so goddamn good. I got wet. I literally got. I didn't know what it was. I think I just. I was like, "What the freak is this wet sensation?" I felt it all of a sudden, bro. When I was watching that junk with this stream of people, like we, we literally lost our goddamn minds, bro. The junk looked. I actually have to watch that junk again. Cause it looked that good. So it was like, he was trying to teach, the boy, it seems like, to hunt, and stuff like that. So it was like, as the game was progressing, it got more and more brutal. And then some huge freaking thing got on screen. They were trying to use teamwork to take it down. I gotta watch that junk again, dude. I gotta watch that junk again because I've only seen it one time, and that's when it was, going on live. All I can tell you is that junked. I said that junked. That junk looked amazing, son. When I tell you I ain't never seen a game, I ain't never seen a game this generation that looked like that. I was like, son, this is on a whole nother level. This can't be on PS4. Like, there's no way. The junk looked incredible. I cannot emphasize that enough. The graphics during this gameplay was just... it was freaking phenomenal, dude. So the junk, oh my God, God of War. What a way to start your freaking conference, right? So they showed that. That junk looked freaking amazing, dude. Perspective. Perspective. But then they show Sony Ben Studios new game. And I kept on hearing about this game, like, hey, look forward to this game at E3. I'm like, the freak? Like, I didn't really know too much about it. Days Gone. They showed a trailer off of that, and it looked really good. Like, that game, I have this infatuation, and I don't know if it's just me, but I have this infatuation with, like, survival, apocalyptic style games with zombies in them. And it's not just games, it's films too. Like, I've always been infatuated with zombies and like apocalyptic worlds and stuff like that. I don't know, but so it immediately got my attention. I was like, oh snap, this junk looks freaking raw. I'm gonna leave it right there because we're gonna get back into that game later. So Days Gone, they showed the trailer off from Sony Ben Studios new game. Looked great. Get back into that later. The mythological, the man, the myth, the legend. A game that was said to exist, but no one has really never seen it outside of E3. Last Guardian. They showed another trailer off. I'm like, bruh, I don't want to see this unless they show us a release date. I ain't trying to see this trash. So Last Guardian, it got a trailer, and supposedly it is supposed to come out this year. October 25th, 2016 is the release date for Last Guardian. Take that with, I wish I had some salt in this room. Take that with the utmost grain of salt, because I would not be surprised one bit if they said, hold on, fam, we got to delay this jump. We got to delay it one more time for y'all. Supposedly it's supposed to come out October 25th, but this is The Last Guardian. Take that with a grain of salt. So let's move on from that. Last Guardian got an official release date before it gets delayed again. Then they showed off some more Horizon new gameplay. Horizon, a little bit before E3 started, it got delayed until next year in February 28th, I believe. I wasn't really shocked. It kind of felt inevitable. Like, okay, I can see, I definitely seen that coming. So like, it got delayed. It sucked, but I kind of expected it because it just felt like it was coming. But they did show some new gameplay off for Horizon. Horizon, I cannot stress enough, like, I want this game bad, dude. Like, bad. I loved the gameplay they show. And the thing with Horizon, I've never really seen a game like it. Like, it looks like a completely unique idea. And I think that's what, these devs need to start doing more. Like, have new ideas. Stop copy and pasting all of these things that have been done before and just putting your own little twist on it. Come up with completely new, unique ideas. And it seems like that what Guerrilla Games has done with Horizon. That gameplay in Horizon looks freaking amazing. The gameplay looks fun. I cannot wait to play that game. It's going to look like that because Guerrilla Games, their graphics are always top notch, so it's going to look that good. I just cannot wait to get my hands on this game. Guerrilla Games, can you like send me a copy, like just to like test out and then like upload to my channel? Appreciate it. So Horizon new gameplay. Detroit Become Human, and I actually kind of forgot about this game because they didn't really show too much for this game until, you know, after last year's E3, but they show a new trailer off for Detroit Become Human. Definitely look good if you know, if you like those whole games to where, like, you know, you have to pick choices and then the choices you make changes the outcome of the game. But it definitely looked good, you know, in the trailer. I'm definitely interested in this title, you know, so I want to see more of it as time goes on. Then they kind of started getting into VR, and normally I'll be like, bruh, stop this, stop. I don't want to see no VR. But I kind of felt like, okay, Sony, you've earned this moment. You started off E3 by showing God of War, Days Gone, Last Guardian, Horizon, Detroit Become Human. I'll let y'all slide right now. So they started showing some stuff for VR, right? We all know VR. It comes out, the PlayStation VR comes out in October, so, you know, they're really trying to, you know, put the VR more and more out there. So the people in my stream was like, yo, is this Outlast 2? And I'm like, sucker, no, I know Outlast when I see it. That joint was not no Outlast 2, but it was looking scary. It was looking dark. It was like, son, like, where's the covers, bro? So I could cover up to feel a little bit more safe in this sucker, you know, but as it was going on, you know, it just got like more and more spooky. And then typical, you know, white people in movies decision. Y'all like, what? Typical white people decisions when it comes to the scary movies. You see a freaking guy just like walk past that's like in a trench coat. This man decides to go and be like, hello? Is anyone up there? And I'm like, bro, do you want to get yourself killed? But it turned out to be Resident Evil Biohazard. And here's the thing with VR. There have been very few, heck, if any, games that I have been like, yo, I would buy a PlayStation VR to play that. Very few games, you know, but this game, I think some of the best games that would work with VR are, you know, like horror games. Like I think like games like that were in a way made for VR because it's easy to do it because a lot of these horror games be like first person, you know, and I just think horror games, like scary games, would work well with VR because it really would, you know, really put you in the game. But Resident Evil Biohazard, it definitely looked good. Coming out January 24th, PlayStation VR. There's also a demo out right now. Well, supposedly this is supposed to be out now, but because after they showed the gameplay, they said, and by the way, there's a demo out right now. So that's cool. Showed off some more stuff for VR. They showed off most of the games they showed off for VR, I can't even hate. Those are actually pretty good. Like all the games they showed for VR look like games that if I had PlayStation VR now, I would actually go out and get that game. So they showed another trailer off for Farpoint. They showed off Batman They're gonna have a Batman Arkham game for VR. Be the Batman, Alfred. Get the car. So Batman Arkham VR, that I guess that's cool. That comes out in October because when the PlayStation VR comes out, it's going to have over, I think, 50 launch games. So I guess that's supposed to be one of them. Final Fantasy 15 VR. I'm like, no. And here's the thing when it comes to VR. There are certain games for VR that I just don't want to play on VR. Final Fantasy is one of those games like the junk turned into a FPS. I'm like, no, I'm not playing Final Fantasy 15. I just think certain games are not meant to be played with VR. Yeah, you have to have games that work well with VR. Who the freak wants to play Final Fantasy? Who the freak wants to play Final Fantasy 15 to where the junk turns into a shooting game? No. So that was just like, I ain't trying to see none of that. But Final Fantasy 15, because there's a lot of hype with it. I guess they gotta do something for it for a VR. Then they started showing off Call of Duty. Titanfall 2, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. What's the difference? But they started showing off some gameplay for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, some of the single player gameplay that takes place in space. Like I said, I am not a blind hater of Call of Duty like some people are out there that just hate on this game just to hate on it just because it's a popular thing to do. The gameplay wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. Like, when they were showing the gameplay off of this, it was like, okay, it looks pretty. Like, one thing you gotta give Call of Duty, despite this junk being milked until, I don't know how they're still getting milk from the cow's udder, but despite this junk being milked to death, somehow, some way, it remains a relevant game. So, the gameplay they showed, it wasn't half that bad. Unfortunately, you still gotta buy that if you want Call of Duty, because after that they showed they showed a trailer off for Call of Duty 4. You still need to buy the Legacy Edition if you want to play Call of Duty 4. So I guess they're sticking with that. They're like, these bastards, if you want Call of Duty 4, you got to get in this greatness with Infinite Warfare. So I guess they are not moving from that. So that's that. Oh God. Sucker, it seemed like for years now, decades even, that people have been asking for this game to return to PlayStation. Suckers, oh my God, I can't even tell you how many suckers I know that wanted this junk so bad. They're like, Sony, please, please bring it back, Sony, please, we need it. Sucking this junk off like sucking this junk off like it was the second coming of Jesus. I'm like, sucker, calm your thirsty behind down. The game was not that good. It was a trash franchise, but it's back now. Crash Bandicoot. I'm joking. I'm like, this man just called Crash Try. You got dang right, I did. But no, I'm joking. But Crash is back. Crash, they showed off. They showed off the freaking Skylanders to Crash, but no, they were showing off some stuff for Crash, and it's completely getting remastered from the ground up. You might as well say a remake, and it's going to be Crash 2, and my favorite Crash Warped, completely remade from the ground up for the PS4. People wanted this junk so bad. There's been like a lot of, teasers for it recently. You know how Sean Layden at last year's E3, man, got on stage wearing a Crash shirt and said, yeah, so about that VR. And it said nothing about Crash. Ultimate troll of last year, by the way. But, with that, and then, a recent game, it was in there as well. So it was like, there was a lot of teasers going on for Crash. So I actually expected this, and it's good that it's being made, because people, this is like one of PlayStation's most popular franchise that people loved playing growing up, and I like seeing that it's being remade, because it could get new fans into the franchise, and I just think it's a good thing for PlayStation. So Crash being remade, that is definitely a W for Sony. That is definitely great. I'm definitely going to buy that thing. I was gonna say something. I forgot what I was gonna say. I really can't remember what I was gonna say. I really can't. My mind just completely went blank. But yeah, Crash is back. People freaking lost their goddamn mind. I like Crash. I do. I like him. But I was never like a huge Crash fan growing up. I loved playing Crash, but I always enjoyed Spyro more than Crash. That's just me. I loved Warped Crash Team Racing. I think that jump was better than Mario Kart, actually. So I liked Crash. I like Crash 2. Crash Warped was just my favorite to me. You can't debate with me right now. Crash Warped, best Crash ever, okay? But I like Crash. It's definitely one of PlayStation's most popular, most loved franchises. So definitely great to see it being remade from the ground up. Sucker, you goddamn right I'm gonna buy that jump as soon as it comes out. So that's great for all the fans that have been literally dying for Crash to return. I'm happy for the hardcore fans of Crash, but there's a lot of people that just rode the bandwagon, and because Crash is getting all of this attention, you got a lot of people that are now pretending to be Crash fans, like, oh my gosh, suck, you ain't played Crash in your life, sit down. So it's like people just riding the bandwagon. Freaking it disgusts me. So, but I'm happy for the hardcore fans of Crash. I'm a fan of Crash, just not a hardcore fan. So that's great though. Crash is also coming to Skylanders. I was hoping for that guy that was at last year's E3 who was talking about Disney and bro, I had that man in the back of my mind this entire E3. Like, I hope that guy that was so enthusiastic about Disney Infinity comes out on stage like, and that joke would have made my night. But he didn't come out. So then they show off Lego Star Wars, The Force Awakens. That's the thing, you know. So that's cool. I actually knew this was going to happen at some point. Konami, you idiots. you let a guy like this go. Hideo Kojima. I already knew who it was going to be because as soon as he said, I would like to present to you one of the most, he has said one of the most talented people in the game industry today, I immediately knew Hideo Kojima. So the guy comes out on the stage, swagged out, by the way. Kojima, glasses, the tux, the jeans, and I'm like, okay, Kojima, I see you, fam. So Kojima swagged out, and he shows his new game. No, it's not PT. It's not PT. I don't think that's good. Still sucks that joke was completely canceled, but no, it wasn't PT. It was a new game called Death Standing. Had a butt naked Norman Reedus. I'm like, hey, hold on, bruh. He thick? I'm joking, bro. Pause. But yeah, Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead. Man was butt naked, seeing the cheeks and all, bro. I'm like, hey, this junk is lit. But you know how with the whole PT thing, the trailer we seen when that was still a thing, you had Norman Reedus in that trailer as well. So I guess they're tackling on like a different game, or it might be the same game, just a new title. Who knows? But it was called Death Standing. This man Norman Reedus was butt naked, like these freaking black tar handprints was all over this man, like touching him. So didn't really know what was going on. He was crying and stuff like that. But anything with Hideo Kojima and Daryl Dixon, Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead, you already got my interest. I don't even know what this junk is gonna be about, So it's called Death Standing. Hideo Kojima's new game, definitely, something that definitely got a lot of people's attention when he got on stage and showed off his new game. So Hideo Kojima, he's another guy that it seems like he can do no wrong. People just suck this man off just because it's Hideo Kojima. But it was cool. He showed off his new game, Death Standing. Spider-Man was a game that it was really rumored, like, going into this year's E3 that, hey, Sucker Punch might be working on a Spider-Man game. And I'm like, okay, a Spider-Man game from Sucker Punch? I'd buy that. If y'all do not know, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. Like, Batman, can't compare. Superman, can't compare. It don't matter who you name. Spider-Man has always been my childhood hero. And it pains me that this guy, his movies are trash, his games are trash. This man, me personally, the last somewhat good Spider-Man game that I played was Web of Shadows. Ever since then, trash. Movies, trash. Just everything trash with Spider-Man. And it kills me because you got all this Batman stuff, all this Superman stuff. Spider-Man, he just started getting some real love recently with the whole Captain America Civil War thing with Tom Holland playing Spider-Man. And it was just like, my God. Because Spider-Man, he is one of the best superheroes of all time, in my opinion. And it's just like, if he could just get treated with the respect that he deserves, y'all need to start putting some respect on Peter Parker's name. I ain't gonna say it no more. That's what y'all need to start doing. Spider-Man for PS4, an exclusive Spider-Man game for the PS4. How the heck you gonna do that? An exclusive Spider-Man game? I'll take it. But not even from Sucker Punch. Insomniac. I'm like, I thought this was supposed to be Sucker Punch. Like, I kept on hearing Spider-Man, Sucker Punch, Sucker Punch, Spider-Man. How all of a sudden it came Spider-Man, Insomniac. I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know if there was like, hey, Sucker Punch, come here. Yeah, we're gonna roll with Insomniac. I don't know how it went, but that was just like, wait, Insomniac? I thought it was like, so Insomniac, they're doing Spider-Man PS4, so I'm still buying it. That trailer that they showed off, gameplay looks good. And I know my Spider-Man games. I know how the swinging has to be. I know how the combat has to be. I know how the voice acting has to be. I have played the best Spider-Man games, and I've played some trash ones. I know Spider-Man games when I see them, and I could tell you that the trailer, it looked good. So definitely I am interested in that Spider-Man game from Insomniac. I don't know what happened, but Insomniac, so that's cool. And last but not least, the funny thing is Sony didn't really show off too much. It's just what they came with was just like, oh my god, I'm jizzing. Oh my god, stop. It was just like banger after banger after banger. I was just like, bruh, stop, Sony, stop. But the last thing they showed off was back to Days Gone. They showed some gameplay off for Days Gone again. For some reason, I am infatuated with like survival horror. Not even survival horror. I'm infatuated with apocalyptic, things that's like going on. It's just like, it don't matter if it's films, if it's games. I am infatuated with apocalyptic scenarios, and I just love it for some reason. Days Gone reminds me of a third person The Last of Us in a way. It just really does, and they were showing the gameplay off for the thing. I don't know why this guy, that man had infinite ammo. There was no way. This man was just like taking them all on. I'm like, sucker, how do you have all of this ammo? This man used the infinite ammo cheat code from Grand Theft Auto. Those are facts. So he started shooting. I don't know what these things are, because you got like, I guess they're zombies, but you had like one little like kid midget zombie, and he like jumped on them and killed them. And then like, when I tell you a squad of zombies started coming out, it was literally like almost not Dead Rising level, because Dead Rising is just like, they've got like so many zombies like everywhere, but it was close. Like, there were zombies literally in packs, like just bunched together, all running at this man, and he's trying to shoot. I'm like, sucker, run. I'm like, why are you trying to shoot all of these things? But the gameplay, it intrigues me. Again, like, it wasn't like nothing like amazing. It's just a dude running around shooting zombies. I mean, we've seen that like how many times, but just the way the game looks, the world it's set in. Again, I'm infatuated with apocalyptic type things. I just love it, you know. And you know, it looks like a good game. The trailer looked good. The gameplay looks good. You know, this is a game that had a lot of hype from Sony Ben's studio, you know, and it was just like, it got my attention. It looks good. And yeah, that was the last thing they showed off. Days Gone, which is definitely a title that I got a lot of interest in. Now back to perspective. Okay? Like I said, I mentioned that word at the very start of this video. There was a reason I mentioned that word. I actually need this back for a second. There's a reason I mentioned that word. Because let's be honest, Sony won that E3 like 10 minutes in. They won that jump the second they showed off God of War. I'm like, Microsoft, you're done. EA Bethesda had no chance at all, but Microsoft, yeah, you're done. Sony took the E3 already. Perspective. Here's the thing, right? After they showed Days Gone, they had a list of all the games that they showed off, right? They showed games that had release dates and games that pretty much had the Kingdom Hearts 3 treatment. What that means is now in development. When I tell you, there are 2 games that we got a release date for. 2 games. That is Last Guardian, and again, take that with a grain of salt, because this is the Last Guardian we're talking about. Last Guardian, that's supposed to come out this year in October, and Call of Duty. The rest, well, and I guess if you want to count them, the games they showed off for VR. Some of those games will be in October when the PlayStation VR comes out. But as far as God of War, Days Gone, Horizon, Detroit Become Human, Resident Evil Biohazard, which is also VR, Crash, Hideo Kojima's new game, Spider-Man PS4, and Days Gone, if I didn't mention that. All of those games now in development. And here's the thing. Now in development, it is so vague, because you don't know if the game's going to come out a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. It might get a whole bunch of delays. You don't know what is going to happen when a game just says now in development. Look at Kingdom Hearts 3. That's all they've been saying since they showed that junk, like at 2013. So they keep on saying now in development. Here's why I bring up perspective again. Did Sony win E3? Presentation-wise, no one even came close. No one even came close. You show off God of War, Days Gone, Last Guardian, Horizon, Detroit Become Human. You show off all this stuff, just banger after banger after banger. Presentation-wise, Sony won that junk the instant they showed God of War. But if you look at, and this was just like at last year's E3, there are a lot of games that are being shown at E3 a thing that has been said this generation is a lot of games are being shown before they're even close to release dates. So it builds up all of this hype, but yet we don't know when we're going to get this game. It might be 2, 3, 4 years from now. Meanwhile, we left thirsty, waiting for the judge and just playing whatever games that we have, offered to us at the time. So yes, Sony's E3 was freaking amazing. There was no Last of Us 2. Didn't even care. You know why? Because they showed off all that other stuff. There was no Last of Us 2. There was no Red Dead Redemption 2, which people, I didn't really... Listen, Rockstar, they are still counting money they made from Grand Theft Auto 5 on 3 different occasions. Sucker, Rockstar. Ain't no Red Dead 2, bitch. They ain't trying to do no Red Dead. Sucker, Rockstar is set right now. All they thinking about is like, how can we release another installment of Grand Theft Auto and make more money from it? So that didn't really surprise me. So no Last of Us 2, no Red Dead 2. What else were people starting to ask for? No Jack 4. I knew that wasn't going to happen. There were still a lot of games that weren't shown at their conference, but they were just showing like a lot of good stuff that, and they didn't show no indies. Sony not showing indies? What is life? Like, that completely took me by surprise. But again, perspective. It all depends on the way you look at it. If you don't really care about when these games are going to come out, it's just like, listen, we know those games will be on PS4. That's all I need to know. Cool. Then Sony hands down, took E3. There is no debating. They took E3. But now in development could mean 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It could mean whatever. These games essentially all got the Kingdom Hearts 3 treatment. There were 2 games, Last Guardian, and again, take that with a grain of salt, and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare that are supposed to come out this year. All the other games they shown are in 2017 or in the far future. So it's like, perspective. Perspective. That's all I'm saying. So presentation wise, absolutely, you cannot debate. You could come up with any type of you could come up with anything of why you thought Microsoft won, whatever. No. Sony took it presentation wise, but Xbox, they weren't too bad. And they I got it in my book right now. Hold up. I gotta see, like, what did they show? Like, what games did Microsoft show that are supposed to come out this year? Let's see if they got more games than Sony. Gears 4, Forza Horizon 3. I think that's this year. Yep. Come in. Dead Rising 4, even though that's like late 2016. Halo Wars 2 is this year, right? And Sea of Thieves 2, right? I think, maybe. I'm not completely sure, but looking at this junk, and that's the thing with Microsoft. They don't, when it still comes to exclusives, they are so weak. Like, I'm not saying they don't have exclusives, but I'm just talking about like new IPs that could be system sellers that have you saying, I would buy an Xbox One just to play that. We all know about Gears, we know about Halo. Those are always going to be like the top titles they have, but they're still so reliant on Forza, and Forza Horizon 3 looks great and stuff like that. They showed Tekken 7, but I don't think that's not exclusive. But they Scalebound, okay, Dead Rising. My point is this. My point is this, because looking back at that, I'm just like the freak. But my point is this. Yes, Sony, presentation wise, they killed it, dude. Killed it. And they didn't even have some of the games I was looking forward to seeing. They killed it, son. But if you look at it, again, a lot of people are starting to complain because a lot of games that are being shown at E3, they're being shown, it builds up the hype, only to find out junk ain't nowhere near being done. The junk is getting delays out the freaking cheeks, and it's not going to come out 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. So that's why people have a problem with it. And Sony really finessed us. They pretty much finessed us because they showed off all that greatness, and then towards the very end said, now in development. That's pretty much what they did. They gave us the Kingdom Hearts 3 treatment, bro. So, again, perspective. It all depends on the way you look at it, So, but definitely Sony, it was very entertaining to watch. That I will say. Presentation wise, no one comes close. Sony took that junk, okay? But what did you guys think about Sony's E3? Did you think they absolutely killed it? Or do you think it's being, hyped a little bit? Because I see some Xbox fanboys already out there saying, you got... Bro, I swear to God, Xbox fanboy, bro. Some of the most hilarious individuals, not just them, just fanboys in general. But it seems like every time Sony fanboys are like just having a great time, those Xbox fanboys come in and be like, this is what you Sony ponies are excited for? This junk does not come out until like 2025. Irrelevant. We got Quantum Break. So it's just like I don't know, man. It's definitely an exciting time right now. Your game, a lot of stuff to talk about. I still got some stuff to talk about when it comes to E3 for the next few days. But anyways, yeah, that was my review of Sony's conference. Definitely great conference to look at. Entertaining banger games. Is just we don't know when we're going to get them. That's really it, But yeah, so that was my review for Sony's E3 press conference 2016. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, I greatly appreciate if you rate the video, my brothers and sisters. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up. It could be a thumbs down, but what I do ask every brother and every sweet sisters is to just rate the video, my brothers and sisters. I gotta rewatch that conference. I really do gotta rewatch that conference again because the jump was almost too good to watch. But yeah, catch you guys later.